up, everybody? So GenCon has come and gone, and D&D released a bunch of big announcements, and so the GM got really excited about 5e again, and they really wanted to play, but everyone already agreed that they were swapping over to Pathfinder. And he was just so excited about World of Warcraft that he's like, guys, we have to play 5e again. And it was like a 2-hour argument. Nobody got anywhere. Everybody left sad and with their books. Pathfinder was not played. It's just a bad time all around. Just that shit's canceled.
Frankly, I got too caught up on the name Kill Jaden to really pay attention to most of the conversation, but
I don't know why Kill Jaden bothers you so much. I'm gonna be for real.
I think it's because my younger brother's name is Jaden.
I mean, sure.
And it's just like goofy, like it's like, I'm not Jaden, I'm Kill Jaden. You're like,
I mean, it's not like, I guess I don't think that was the intention for the name, but I guess
no, it's just oh, it's got the Elven apostrophe in there too.
It does have the apostrophe. Yes, Kill Jaden has the, yeah. It's also slightly different spelling of Jaden.
Yeah, you got the fucking A in there.
Listen, Kill Jaden's cool though.
He just looks dumb as sorry, his name is just dumb as fuck.
I was gonna say, I actually think he looks pretty sick.
No, he looks pretty cool, but no, his name is just dumb as fuck.
So rude to him. What'd he ever do to you?
Look, have a stupid name,
I guess. Yeah, so we're doing something semi-topical. We're like I mean, it's when this comes out, it'll be a little bit old news, but like semi-topical, you know. Yeah, so GenCon happened. I wasn't paying too much attention. But D&D did have a whole shitload of announcements. Now, we're not just going to focus on all of D&D's announcements, because they did actually have quite a lot. But the D&D announcements got me thinking. So, we're kind of talking about D&D's announcements and also kind of not. Because the thing it really got me thinking about was collaborations, like collabs, guest characters, crossovers, that whole thing that's very hot these days.
The supposed death of Magic the Gathering, as Matt keeps saying.
Yes, which, I mean, we'll get there. I think he might be exaggerating a tad, but you know. But yeah, basically, the reason I thought about it is just because it's been coming up in a bunch of other places as well, and I'm kind of like, what's the limit? Like, where do we go? Where do we go when we get to the point where it's like, all right, maybe we should chill out, you know? Before we get started, of course, hit follow, subscribe on your podcast platform of choice right now. Right now. I'm waiting. I'm still waiting. Okay. If you didn't do it, I will find you. So what the hell am I talking about? Well, one of the big main and I don't know. I guess depending on what thing you're most excited about, the main announcement of the keynote for D&D was different. But I guess the two that really stuck out to me personally was they are doing collaboration with World of Warcraft and Star Wars. Now, I will preface this with saying we got like nothing on Star Wars, so this isn't really so much about the Star Wars part, but just the fact that they are doing a collaboration with both of these big IPs got me being like, okay, interesting. As I said, you know, collaborations and crossovers and stuff have been fucking hot these days, especially in the video game world, which is really that the video game world made this kind of translate into my brain of like, because we don't really do. Tabletop doesn't do that much crossover collabing stuff. There's a lot of like joint products, but usually joint products will be like, oh, we took a designer from this game and a designer from this game and they're making a thing. It's not usually like IP crossover. I feel like IP crossover is these days decently uncommon in tabletop right now, probably just because it's a smaller industry and crossover collab content is fucking expensive usually.
It is, yeah. I think most of the time when you see that stuff, it's like, you know, it's like a homebrew. It's not official content.
Yeah, it's a
like,
lot.
I want to make a Jedi, and I uploaded it to D&D Beyond's homebrew section.
But even a lot of the time, though, the homebrew isn't even really like the crossover is just that you're using like 5e's mechanics, you know?
Yeah.
So it's not even.
Well, so I think if you do get the homebrew, I feel like, or if you get something that's not homebrew, it's not. It's the like serial numbers filed off, right? It's the Blood Hunter, not the fucking Witcher.
Right. Yes. There's some of that going on too. Right. That's like, yeah, it's just like less of a thing in tabletop. But if any company is going to start making it a thing, right, obviously D&D is going to get the ball rolling on that because basically nobody else can afford to, right? Like nobody else is really big enough. I mean, I guess you could make the argument that that's what Modifius is kind of doing, but those aren't collabs, right? Those are straight up, we're making a licensed game for this IP, right? It's different. Yeah. I guess Pathfinder and like Paizo probably has the money to do stuff like this, but they haven't done a lot of this as far as I'm aware. I don't know for a fact. I don't keep up with Paizo's goings-on.
Yeah, I'm
that
so
much
out of the loop on Paizo that like no clue.
As far as I'm aware, they don't do a ton of it, but I could be wrong, I suppose. So, I mean, the question here is like, I'm aware this is multiple questions, but like, have the collabs gone too far? Are we doing this too much? Is it watering down the brands? What is the limit? I don't know. Pick or choose if you want to answer any of those.
I mean, yeah. Has it gone too far? I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, I think so.
Well, I think we should specify. Has it gone too far in tabletop? I don't think we can. I was kind of joking with that one because like it doesn't happen that much in tabletop. So like, no, not in the tabletop world. It hasn't.
No, in tabletop, no. But I think generally speaking,
in other places, I could certainly see that argument. Yeah. I mean,
like it's collabs used to be this thing where it was like, oh wow, did you see this is getting like a World of Warcraft collab? And you're like, oh, that's so cool. And now it feels like, oh, they're doing a collab. Oh, they must be hemorrhaging money. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like the quick way to make a buck and not like.
I don't think that's what's going on with D&D in this scenario. I think.
No, like, I think
D&D's still doing.
I think you're right.
Doing well money wise, you know.
Yes.
I don't know. You know, it's funny actually that you mentioned that because this has been a hot debate with 14 very recently. Again, because the 8-man raid series for the next expansion is going to be Final Fantasy VII. It's going to be a Final Fantasy VII collab. Mm-hmm. And there was a lot of people going around and saying, oh, Final Fantasy XIV must be doing poorly because they did the, people keep calling it the break glass moment where it's like, oh, break glass in case of emergency, right? Break glass and use Final Fantasy VII in case of emergency. People are like, oh, Final Fantasy XIV's in trouble, so they're busting out the 7 content to get people back. And like, that's just like hilariously backwards.
Yeah.
Because 14 is the moneymaker for Square Enix. Like, as far as their current games are going, 14 is the big moneymaker. And the idea that 7 is like a bigger moneymaker these days than 14 is just like completely wrong.
It is. I understand what they're saying. They're like, oh, you know, let's nostalgia bait them for some quick cash. Like, yeah, that's.
Well, no. People are saying it's not even let's nostalgia bait them. People are saying, oh, they needed to use Final Fantasy VII because 14 is dying, is what people are saying.
Right, and what I'm saying is, I think their logic is, people will buy anything 7 related because everyone has fond memories of 7. That way, it'll stimulate the cash flow.
Right, which is not at all correct. Especially because
it being correct or not.
Especially because 7 does not have the pull these days that it used to have. Like, it's still Final Fantasy 7, don't get me wrong. It's still the most popular Final Fantasy. But, like, it's been so long that...
Yeah, I think people have kind of just aged out. Like,
yeah, younger players don't, like... I mean, here's the thing. Final Fantasy has a problem with getting a younger audience in general. Because they've been so slow with their release cadence. And they haven't really hit anything that's really appealed to a younger audience that much. But that's a whole other discussion. But yes, there was this idea that like, 14 is like in trouble and they need money, and it's like, nah, literally complete opposite. The reason there's a 7 collab is because Yoshi P's an old man and he likes Final Fantasy 7, right? You can look. Here's the thing: you could tell the devs of 14 played a lot of the older Final Fantasy games, because the vast majority of like homages and references that we get in 14 are 1 through 6. You know what I mean? Like, most of the content we get that's like collaboration or homage base are 1 through 6. And then sometimes we're throwing in a bit of 7. Like, we don't get a lot of 10 or 8 or 9. Like, there's just not that much of the other games. I mean, there is some, but not as much as the older games. You know what I mean? You can
Which
tell.
Game do you think has the least amount of collab stuff?
Probably 8.
Is
Off
it
the
8?
Top of my head, I think it's 8. Probably. Yeah. I mean,
I say this
not actually
because I shit on 13. But I feel like it's probably 13.
It could be 13. Could be
outside
13.
of like Lightning's outfit. I don't know of any other 13 like, you know, they're not talking about Boat of Elsa anywhere. You're not seeing the like.
You might be right. Yeah, there's not really anything from 8 either. Well, I guess 8 got some raid stuff, but that was pretty.
I would say 8 got like Cloud of Darkness and shit like that.
Well, Cloud of Darkness is from 3.
Oh right, my bad.
No.
Do we not? Is Ultimecia not a fight? Sorry, that's what I meant to say.
Nope.
She's not? I thought she was a fucking trial.
No, Ultimecia is not in 8, not in 14 at all.
Huh.
Yeah. We got the Eden series.
Well, we did get a whole class though. Like,
true, Gunbreaker. That's true. We did get Gunbreaker. That's something. Yeah, maybe it is 13 then. Although we're about to get the pre-order bonus mount for Evercold is Lightning's Odin horse.
oh Jesus. Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, sorry. Now we're getting
fucking thing.
We're getting too deep on the Final Fantasy sauce. But anyway,
we are,
yeah. I think the big thing with a lot of the collab stuff that's been going on is it's happening so much now that it's not feeling special anymore. Right now, it's kind of special for D&D because this is especially because 5e has not done this at all prior, until very recently. So for 5e, it's more special. But the problem is because it's been happening in so many other places, D&D's kind of on the tail end. So people, I think, are starting to get a little tired. Like, it's like the subscription thing, right? When Netflix came out, everybody had no problem buying Netflix because they didn't have a bazillion other subscriptions. Nowadays, if you ask for a subscription on a platform, people are like, nah, they have to hem and haw.
Like, are you fucking kidding me?
I mean, they might do it, but they're going to hem and haw over it. Whereas Netflix was like a no-brainer buy at one point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's that kind of a situation where it's like, okay, another collab thing. Maybe do I care? I don't know. I got to think about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the issue with 5e right now is that people saw or are seeing what they're doing with Magic, and they're like, oh, please, God, not here. Don't do this. Don't Fortniteify
right. Well,
D&D.
so that's the thing, right? Magic has pushed it to a crazy degree. We'll get to that, but Magic has really, yeah, it's like the cadence, it's the cadence of it, and it's like what you cross over. You know, there's a lot of ways to go about it. You know, although I do think a lot of people are kind of excited about the WoW one, in particular. But so here, I'm gonna give some examples that are not tabletop to sort of illustrate my point that this can be a deeply contentious topic and we'll get you a lot of different kinds of responses. So everybody take a shot. It's fighting game time.
Oh boy.
It's fighting game time. The reason I'm using fighting games, and here's the thing, fighting games are kind of what made me think about this in the first place, because fighting games right now have been doing, and for those who are not paying attention, probably, you know, for those who don't play fighting games, you probably have no clue what I'm talking about or don't care. Fighting games have been doing crossover content a lot these days, like a lot. Now, in the fighting games, it's generally in the form of a guest character, so a character on the roster becomes playable that is not from the universe of that fighting game, right? That's generally how fighting games do it. There are some other ways that fighting games will do it sometimes, but for the most part, it's almost always a guest character, right? Mm-hmm. And it has been going on like crazy. And I think if we're going to blame anyone, like if you're somebody who hates all this guest character nonsense, I think the people you need to be mad at is NetherRealm and Mortal Kombat 9. I think that really got the ball. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, Soul Calibur. And I would say Soul Calibur, but Soul Calibur's dead, so nobody cares about Soul Calibur anymore. So it's not really Soul Calibur.
Just attack me personally. It's okay.
I know. I'm sorry. Listen, I also love Soul Calibur, but like, it's just the truth, unfortunately. Yes, Soul Calibur 2 back in the day got the ball rolling, but they did not keep that momentum going very much, right? Like Link, Heihachi, and Spawn were a big deal at the time. That momentum did not keep rolling. And even Soul Calibur 6 had Geralt, 2B, and Mother Samurai Showdown.
Haomaru. And it was supposed to have Noctis.
Yes. But, you know, Soul Calibur just doesn't have that pull. So I think MK9 is who we really got to be looking at in this particular instance, because MK9 got us Freddy Krueger and Kratos, and I feel like I'm forgetting one.
Just those two.
Was it just those two in 9? It probably was. That got the ball rolling, though, to say the least. Because then in 10, we got the Xenomorph and Leatherface, MK10, Xenomorph and Leatherface and...
Xenomorph, Leatherface, Jason,
who basically destroyed the game.
Look, he did pay $5.
He did pay $5. Nope, not Terminator in that game. Who else was in 10? I know it was all the horror movie stuff. For the most part.
MKX.
Who else was in 10?
Guest fighters.
Jason
Voorhees. Yeah, Jason, the Predator, Leatherface, Xenomorph. Those 4.
Oh, just those 4? Okay, so I did get them off the top of my... Oh, Predator is who I was forgetting.
Yes, MK11 was Spawn, Joker, Terminator, specifically T-1000. Ghostface?
No, Ghostface is MK1.
Oh, it is MK1. Yeah.
MK11.
It's Joker, Spawn, RoboCop, Rambo, and the T-1000.
Yep.
And then in MK1, it's fucking
Conan,
Homelander, Peacemaker, Ghostface, Conan,
Peacemaker.
And T-800 is MK.
Right. T-1000 is MK1.
T-1000 is MK1. Yeah.
Yes. So they really kind of got that ball rolling, I think, with MK9. So I'm gonna give you like a good and a good, the bad, the ugly situation here, right? So like a really positive crossover example very recently was Lucy in Guilty Gear Strive, right?
Hell yeah, dude.
Lucy from Cyberpunk Edgerunners got added to Guilty Gear Strive.
Wait, Josh, you have to refer to her by your name for her.
The true villain of Cyberpunk Edgerunners. Yes.
The harlot of Babylon.
Lucy, the actual villain of Cyberpunk Edgerunners, got added to Guilty Gear Strive. And people popped off pretty hard. There was a lot of positivity around that. But this is the important thing about this collaboration shit, right? A lot of the positivity is about the context, right? As a guest character, Guilty Gear as a franchise has never had a guest character. So this is the first guest character in the entire franchise. So we're starting off fresh, right? So we don't have any fatigue. The character they chose fits perfectly in the universe. Like they literally did not change Lucy's design at all. They popped her into Strive 100% as is, and she looks like she fits perfectly with the rest of the cast. Like nothing was like, she doesn't look, if you didn't know she was a collab, like a guest character, and you're just looking at screenshots of Strive and you saw her, she just looks like another Guilty Gear character. She basically, the only thing she's lacking is a couple extra belts, you know, like she fits perfectly. And her implementation was quite good. She had some interesting mechanics. They homaged her series in some fun ways. Like, she had hacking mechanics in a fighting game, which was cool. So, like, really good, positive implementation. Pretty much everyone. I don't know anyone that was, like, bitching about Lucy. I mean, maybe there's some people who are like, it should have been David. But, like, other than that.
I mean...
Yes.
I don't know. A part of me wanted to be like, well, considering that Lucy survived Cyberpunk Edge Runners.
Spoilers! Silence!
That's over 5 years old. If you've not seen Cyberpunk Edge Runners,
5 years is not that old.
It's old enough for me to spoil.
Oh my god, such a hater. However,
I love Cyberpunk Edge Runners, by the way.
Yeah. So that was a really positive collaboration, right? So, okay, what about the other end of the table? What's a really negative collab?
Oh, what, you telling me you didn't want to play fucking King of Fighters
why? Fucking... Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. No, you got to give me the build up on this. So, Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, which is a fighting game that came out last year, I believe. And City of the Wolves is a franchise that was effectively dead since like 98 or something. I forget when Garo Mark of the Wolves came out. Actually, I don't, hold on. Garo Mark of the Wolves release date. Let's see. When did Garo come out? 99. That was pretty close. Yeah. So basically a dead franchise since 99. So City of the Wolves coming back was like a big deal. Now, technically, it came back under the Fatal Fury moniker, which you could argue means it's not technically the same franchise. We don't need to get into SNK's bullshit right now. Anyway.
Yeah.
We really don't. SNK is a mess.
SNK, Final Fight,
yeah, all the Fatal Fury, Final Fight, King of Fighters, and how do they all mix and blah, blah, whatever. Anyway. So, yes, there was a lot of hype around this game. And the hype was building and building and building and building. It was doing great. And then they announced Cristiano Ronaldo.
Hell yeah, brother.
The real life soccer player as a fully
Actual,
playable
literal,
character.
Straight up Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah. Not like, and I don't mean like they based a character off of him and like, or like they, you know, they made a character that looks like him but isn't technically him, or they fit him into the universe. No. It's just Cristiano Ronaldo in Fatal Fury.
Actual, straight up soccer player. Cristiano Ronaldo. Yes, one of his 100%. Combos is he mixes your shit up like he's on a soccer field. He just
That's pretty much all
ankles.
He does.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
And reception was not good on this one, and still isn't.
No, yeah.
The reason,
as far as I've heard, literally no one plays him.
Yeah, I think he's got a pretty. I haven't checked in a while. I haven't been playing Fatal Fury. I'm playing City of the Wolves, I should say. But yeah, his pick rate was not great. So you might be like, well, why was the reception so bad? Well, first of all, this is just fucking weird because it's just like straight up a normal ass person in the game, which like kind of low key nobody wanted. Mm-hmm. But also because Ronaldo the man has some controversy around him, which I'm using that word slightly lightly. He's been accused of rape pretty credibly. So like everyone's like, that's a little weird. I don't know if I want to play the rapist, you know, that's not, why is he on the roster? And then the other thing that people got really annoyed about is that the reason, I mean, we don't know this for a fact, but we're pretty sure the only reason that motherfucker is in the game is because Saudi Arabia, the government of Saudi Arabia, owns SNK, or like owns a huge chunk of SNK. I forget exactly how it breaks down. And SNK being the game devs that make the game. So they also own, is it a huge chunk of FIFA or the team he plays for? They own something related to Cristiano and the soccer team and all. They also own that shit. I don't know the exact business breakdown, probably because it's stupid and complicated. So a lot of people are like, the evil murderous government owns him and put him in the game. This feels gross. So
that wasn't great. And then on top of that, his gameplay is like kind of boring. He's pretty like uninteresting.
Yeah, it's like really uninspired. None of his moves look flashy. It just looks like a guy who's playing soccer while someone's throwing fireballs at him. Like,
yeah, it's mostly just him playing soccer. And then also as like a little extra kick in the balls, he didn't have any story in arcade mode or episodes of Southtown, which is like the main story mode of the game. So he was just kind of there and had no story, and they literally did not even attempt to justify his presence in the game at all. He's just kind of there.
Is he at least good?
What, like tier wise?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is he at least meta?
I have no idea, actually. That's a good question. I don't know.
Let me look that up. Wait, what's the name of the game?
Fatal Fury City of the Wolves.
Fatal.
I don't know if anybody puts him particularly high on the tier list. I think he does have an arcade mode and episodes of Southtown story now, but he definitely did not on release. So they really shoehorned that motherfucker in. So this was just like a really negative guest character pretty much across the board.
He's like squarely B tier.
It was just kind of okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Who's that DJ guy? He's like D tier.
Oh, Salvatore Ganacci. Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, he was an implementation of a real person that was much better handled, because it wasn't just straight up the guy. It was like a character that the guy plays in real life. And also, they actually implemented him into the world. Like, he's friends with another character from Fatal Fury, like from the franchise before, called Duck King. He's like buddies with him because he's a DJ and Duck King's like a producer or a rapper or something. Like, Duck King's also like a music guy. So like, he's friends with him. They implemented him. And also he does like wacky woohoo magical flying DJ powers. He's not just like guy, you know? Like, he literally has the ability to like Jesus fly. And it's just because it's a weird reference to one of his music videos that he Jesus flies. So like, he actually feels like a fighting game character as opposed to like guy with soccer ball. So that was a really bad example. And then we have some like the kind of weird middle of the road. Now, technically this contention hasn't started yet, because the game hasn't been out that long, but Marvel Tokon, as of recording, came out like a couple days ago, a week ago, not even quite almost a week ago. And you know, whatever, the game has had some problems with the PC port and stuff, but, you know, otherwise has been getting pretty well received in terms of like gameplay and content. Now, as of recording, the game only has one DLC character announced, which is that of Phoenix Cyclops, which is obviously another Marvel character. Okay, cool. But some people have been talking about guest characters in Tokon, like just kind of casually, like, oh, it'd be cool if they added X, Y, or Z. But I've also seen some people be of the opinion that no, there should be 0 guest characters, because Marvel is just too rich of a well of characters to pull from, that it would basically be wasting a slot to make a guest character over another Marvel character, because there's just so many Marvel characters you could potentially do, and a lot of Marvel characters that people want.
I think we should split the difference and only do collabs with characters who have already collabed with Marvel. This is my bid to put Godzilla in Marvel Tokon.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say you're not gonna get that.
Fuck. But he beat Superman.
That's all well and good. I don't think you're getting that one.
That is crazy. Godzilla has collabed with Marvel and DC.
He has. It is kind of weird.
Big G is just a universal constant. He's a canon event.
So already there's argument and debate, and the game is like just come out, and already people are like at each other about guest characters. So just what I'm illustrating here is very quickly it can become contentious, right? Like, it's not a cut and dry scenario when you're dealing with collab. I just realized you could put content.
Conan in Tokon.
You could. Yes.
Conan is a canon Marvel character. He was on the Avengers for a little while.
Yes. Again, don't think that's happening, but I suppose you could.
Think of how fucking crazy
that would be. You know, he'd probably be a lot cooler than he is in MK1. So
that's what I'm thinking, right? Like he'd be doing crazy shit.
Yeah, I would
Truly
probably
being his most Unga self.
Probably would like that better.
Yeah,
and I think the thing that the Cristiano Ronaldo situation really illustrates is that when you do a collab, you're bringing all of the baggage from the thing you're collabing with, right? Like, that has to be part of the consideration. You know, you're not getting just a character or just like some DLC or or some content or whatever. Like, you're bringing the baggage, right? So, for example, D&D is collabing, to bring it back to tabletop, D&D is collabing with World of Warcraft. Blizzard's been under some serious, like,
baby
drama. Drama's putting it very lightly. They've been having some issues lately, right? Like Blizzard. Now, although I will say, as of recording, there's some stuff that came out recently that maybe all or most of the Blizzard stuff was a lie and fabricated, which is fucking crazy.
Wait, you mean the Cosby Suite shit?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. I have not looked that deep into it, but I've seen some shit going about that it might all be fake and that the California like legal was basically like, oh, we found no evidence. So I don't know. But
that feels crazy. It was backed up in by so many sources.
Again, like I said, I haven't looked that deep, so I might be also misunderstanding what I saw. But anyway, point being, by bringing in Blizzard, you're bringing in Blizzard's baggage, right? Like, that has to be part of the consideration. So you know, it's like you got to be really careful. Also, to note, just in case someone was curious, like how how crazy the guest character situation with fighting games is still going. Right now, Yujiro Hanma from Baki Hanma is coming to Tekken 8.
Yes,
Kenshiro from Fist of the North Star is hitting City of the Wolves, although I think people are pretty excited about that one. Guilty Gear Strive is getting another guest character, although we don't know who. And Tifa from Final Fantasy VII is going to be in Street Fighter 6.
She is, yeah.
So, like, this shit's still going strong. But the point is like, kind of no matter what collab you go with or who you pick, it's going to stir the pot. You know, you're going to get people going no matter what. Like, there's no avoiding that problem. So it's like, you really got to be aware. So the question here is it any different for tabletop? And like, is there a breaking point? You know, like, is there a point where people go, all right, too much, we're done? You know what I mean? Because like, it's the too much of a good thing, right? When you do something a lot, it's not as special. It's like, if you overdo it, you just don't care as much, you know?
Yeah, I blame a lot of this on Fortnite, like unironically.
Fortnite, yes,
it has,
Fortnite
like,
is
ripped
having
the joy
yes.
out of collaborations.
I didn't bring Fortnite up in my notes, but like, yeah, Fortnite definitely is having an effect on this, because Fortnite has gotten so insane. You can have, Goku kill Rick from Rick and Morty with a fucking lightsaber. Like, and that's not no editing at all. That's just the game. You can just do that. Like, it's insane. Now, I will say, I think something that does help Fortnite a lot and that makes people not get super annoyed at Fortnite is that they do go out of the way to make the collabs really good, right? Like, content-wise, they're not just slapping skins on characters. All of the collabs introduce like unique mechanics and like change up the game. So like, for example, when they added the My Hero Academia characters, you could like play as Deku and you turned into like a melee character who could destroy buildings and shit. Like,
yeah, you could like Detroit smash shit.
Yeah,
the problem,
got
as
Deku's
far as I'm
powers.
aware, is that those mechanics are temporary, right? They don't stick around forever.
I don't know.
As far as I was aware.
So that's the thing. Fortnite is without actively playing it, it's hard to keep track of. I'm not sure because like lightsabers are in the game permanently. I'm pretty sure. Like you could still get lightsabers in the game. So I'm not
yes,
sure.
But I believe they just take the place of like shovels or the pickaxes. Like,
no, they're melee weapons.
Oh,
I've seen clips of people use them. They're like they like added melee weapons to the game for Star Wars. It might not have been for Star Wars, but they like have melee weapons in the game. They're not just the pickaxe. There's also I think you can still do like Kamehamehas. I'm pretty sure. So I don't know. I don't actually know that part, but yes, Fortnite has gone off the wall, wacky, woohoo, crazy, and basically there is no limits. So like Fortnite basically will say no to nothing. But in the tabletop realm, like what, like if this keeps going, which it likely will, if D&D, because D&D, WotC has said part of the announcement, right? It's called their Universes Beyond initiative, which is the same thing they're doing with Magic. So like, it's probably going to keep going unless it does really poorly money-wise. Is there like a, all right, fuck this is too much? Like, is there a breaking point? I don't know.
I mean, like, my worry is not even really, is there a breaking point? Mm-hmm. The thing that truly worries me, and I've not read all the notes, so you may have brought this up later on in the notes, but the thing that truly worries me is that this is going to be anathema to what people like us have been saying for years, which is like, don't just mod Star Wars into your D&D, just play Star Wars. It's a better experience. Oh. You know what I mean?
So they're going to get, so like now the argument's going to become, I could just play 5e Star Wars, even though like Fantasy Flight Star Wars is better.
Yeah, and almost in 5e Star Wars is almost certainly going to fucking suck. Yeah.
You know, it's funny you say that. No, I didn't bring that up, but that's like a completely valid point that, yeah, if they keep going and going and going, yeah, are we going to get to the point where nobody tries any other games because they're like, well, D&D has a version already.
Yeah, which like
that would be bad.
That's really what I'm worried about. Like that, and it's really because I know that mechanically D&D is okay. It's kind of a scrapped together hodgepodge that kind of sort of just barely works under its own, like the weight of its own foundations.
It rides the middle road for a lot of things.
Yeah,
so you could use it for a lot of things. Yeah. It's like D&D
like
can do a lot of.
I just had a conversation with somebody where I was like, someone was like, I want to do some like kind of wacky high fantasy stuff. And I was like, well, you should probably give Fabula a try. And their exact words were, no, I'm not going to do that. I just want to roll dice and play D&D. And it's like, right, brother. But like for what you want to do, because I've seen you run games before, it's just going to work better in Fabula. But it's like, but D&D does enough of what I want. And it's like, but like, okay. Like I can't just be like, no, you have to play something else, but like, brother, please.
No, but you can heavily suggest it.
Yeah,
that's true. I didn't even necessarily bring that up, but like that's true that yes, the idea of D&D becoming so prolific with IP that it's like, you could do anything you want. Yeah, that will be annoying if it gets into that position. I guess we'll have to see the nature of the collab also, like how it works out.
Are you also maybe a little like confused as to how like some of these things are going to require such massive mechanical shifts?
Well, we'll get there. We'll get there. I'm going to hold that thought.
Okay.
So, because I wanted to bring up, right, because we have an example of how WotC has been handling this already, right? We have Magic the Gathering, right? Wizards of the Coast has been doing a shitload of collabs with Magic the Gathering through their Universes Beyond initiative, and that has brought us some pretty crazy shit. I mean, we've gotten Marvel, Final Fantasy, Avatar: The Last Airbender, but like also right now on their website, last time I checked, which was like yesterday, you can buy Hatsune Miku and Garfield cards. So needless to say, they're bringing in a lot you can have your Garfield Commander deck.
I believe SpongeBob also got a collab.
SpongeBob also got a collab, yes. So then the thought becomes, how far does D&D go? Because, like, do we want to play a Miku Mancer in D&D? Because, like, I don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
no.
like, what's your class? Miku Mancer? What? Yeah, I cast Vocaloid lasers. You do what?
Yeah, I'm just playing as a Vocaloid. My race is Vocaloid.
I perform stage shows, and like the laser light show does AoE damage to everything around me.
Yeah.
Like,
my class is
what?
Idol Girl. My race is my species is Vocaloid.
Yeah.
My background is living in your Wi-Fi. Like, it's so cursed.
Right. So that's why my thought immediately goes like, okay, how far are we going to go with this? You know, because clearly with Magic, there's basically no rules. I mean, Garfield is crazy, right?
Yeah.
Like, Garfield is crazy. And now, granted, I do want to mention, you know, on the positive side, like, they're not, if I'm going to give Wizards any credit for this situation, they're not slapdashing it all together, right? Like, they are putting a lot of genuine effort in these collabs. They're making genuine new mechanics and like new cards, and they're hiring shitloads upon shitloads upon shitloads of artists to come up with all these new cards and different kinds of artists, right? Because obviously, you know, the guy who draws like the super high fantasy warrior babes probably isn't going to be as good for like the Garfield cards. So they're hiring lots of different kinds of artists. The effort is being put in, right? So, you know, I do want to acknowledge that, because I think that's worth mentioning, because, you know, you could do collabs that are really fucking lazy if you wanted, right? Like,
they can. My counterpoint to that is we have seen a lot of Magic cards just reusing art, like the Avatar ones. They just took fucking, you know, 480p screenshots from the show and made those into cards. It reminds you of the fucking Ozai close-up shot where it's pixelated as fuck.
Yes, they have been doing some of that. It's a mixed bag, right? Some cards are pixelated Ozai, and some cards are fresh art, right? So it's been a mixed bag. So yes, there's been some laziness, but there has also been a lot of effort. You know, like it's not all one way or another.
Yeah.
But yes, valid to, like, when we do get things like pixelated Ozai, it is valid to point out and be like, guys, what the fuck? Especially because, you know what's funny about that one in particular? It would not be that hard to say to one of the artists on the team, be like, hey, could you just like redraw this frame?
Yeah, just touch this up.
Just touch it up. Not that hard. Just redraw it. Just redraw it in 1080p or whatever the fuck, you know, whatever resolution they use for Magic
cards. It's weird that they didn't even feed that one into fucking AI. Like, not that they should have. Honestly, I would prefer pixelated Ozai, but it's like, it was so low effort.
Yeah, no, that's true. It is, you know, it's very funny.
Maybe it was a meme. Maybe they were like, LOL, low effort Ozai. Like, maybe that was like a purposeful thing.
True. Could be.
But I doubt it.
Could be. I don't know. But again, there are a ton of like unique Ozai art cards too. You know what I mean? So,
bro, give us fucking Avatar Legends Ozai. Give me that absolute fucking unit.
That meat stick of a man.
You know, and like, man slapping meat. Like,
just looking up Ozai cards real quick. Like, there are a lot of really sick, unique art that they did for him too. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, actually, this one in particular. Hold on, I'm just gonna. I'm pretty sure this looks like an official card. I'm just gonna send this to you because it's actually kind of fire. It's pretty sick. It's pretty sick card art. You know?
Oh, that is pretty cool, actually. Yeah.
Right. So like that. Yeah. Like they are putting effort in a lot of places. Also, I think
that is some Sakuga ass framing.
I think
the glowing eyes.
A lot of the cards that were just shots from the show, I think were also a specific run of cards.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Like they did specific full art run of cards that were just shot from the thing. Because they've done that for other stuff too. And like, yeah, like there's another card, Agent of Treachery, that's Azula threatening the Earth King, and it's just a shot from the show. So, you know, that being said, you still could have told somebody to redraw them. So, you know, now I've lost track. So, yeah, the question immediately becomes like, how far are we going to go with D&D, right? Like, how crazy are we going to get? Because at a certain point, you do kind of go like, okay, how much are we watering down the brand, you know? And not that I'm somebody who puts a lot of stock in the brand, but, you know, it's a consideration, right? If I can play... If I can play D&D and I can have one guy who's a Miku-mancer and another guy who's a Garfieldologist and another guy who's a spongebarian, like that's gonna be like, you know how people meme about like, oh, I want my D&D party to look like Lord of the Rings, but they always look like anime characters. Yeah. Oh, it's gonna get a lot worse than that.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like, I'm playing Garfield. Oh, cool. I'm playing SpongeBob the Barbarian. You're like, or I'm playing SpongeGar the Barbarian. You're like, oh yeah.
I'm playing actual Spider-Man.
I'm just playing literally Spider-Man. You're like, okay. Okay, that's interesting. Like, that shit's gonna get real crazy. If you have if you are the kind of person who's like, Azamar are too far, well, I got some news for you, pal.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like, yikes. But so let's just talk about the collabs we do have right now. So that's all okay. That's all speculation, right? We don't know anything about the collabs they're doing. So far, the things we've gotten have been World of Warcraft, Star Wars eventually. We got a collab with Vampire the Masquerade, right?
Oh my god, I forgot about that one. Stuff
that feels like, all right, this all feels like it fits, right? Like, none of this feels unreasonable. So, you know, me and Isaiah joking about playing literally Spider-Man, we are technically speculating, right? Just to be clear and fair on the situation. So, just looking at what we have, like, it may stay in the realm it's currently in. And if that's the case, good, right? Like, because here's the thing. You know, let's get into the WoW collab. The WoW collab does have me, I won't lie, the WoW collab has me a little intrigued for a multitude of reasons. But, you know, I do have mixed thoughts, some of which we've already talked about. But I think something that is worth pointing out, like right up front, the WoW collab does fit, right? You know, like, it does kind of make sense. Now, actually, I'm jumping ahead of myself a little bit here. I guess the other more important first point, this WoW book, it does have a lot in it. Like, it's not just like, oh, you could fight Arthas and that's it or whatever. You know, like, there's a lot of content that's going to be in this book. So all 13 World of Warcraft classes are going to be in the game with 9 new subclasses and then 40 specializations. I don't know exactly what they mean by specializations. I know what that means in WoW. I don't know exactly what they mean in D&D, but they are putting all 13 WoW classes. They're putting all 16 of the species from WoW into the game. We're getting 60 plus new spells and 25 plus new magic items, 50 new monsters, and 30 dungeon boss stat blocks.
Oh, Jesus.
Which is, that's quite a lot. That's, you know, 80 plus monsters, 80 plus stat blocks. And this was one where I really went, 7 iconic World of Warcraft dungeons reimagined for tabletop play with boss encounters worthy of the legends. So, side note,
that sounds dangerously close to sounding cool.
Give me dead mines. I swear to God, please give me dead mines. I beg of you. Yeah. So 7 WoW dungeons, like famous dungeons, in D&D, that's a pretty sick idea, actually. I like the idea of, oh, what if we translated the dungeon mechanics into tabletop mechanics? What would that look like? That's actually pretty fucking cool. You know, and of course, immediately you're like 7 iconic dungeons, and immediately somebody's going to be like, oh, but I like this dungeon more. Can we have this dungeon? Right? Like, to compare, if somebody said to me, all right, we're doing a Final Fantasy 14 collab with 5e. We're going to put 7 dungeons from 14. What 7 are we picking? I'd be like, oh, God. Oh, boy.
Put in Ormvale. I just want to see what they do with coin counter. Yeah.
Just Ormvale to piss people off. I don't know what I would put, because I was like, there's so many iconic dungeons in 14. I mean, like, my brain shoots in so many directions. There's so many dungeons that could be cool. So, you know, that would be really hard. So, of course, when you're talking about the same situation in World of Warcraft, again, tough call. Now, I'm personally asking for Dead Mines. I might not get the Dead Mines, in which case I'll be like, oh, but Dead Mines is iconic, which it is, but, you know, maybe they don't consider it. You know what I mean? Like, so that's always going to be a little bit of a mixed bag. And then the last thing, and I like this because it feels like an attempt to fit the systems to the setting. 20 plus factions with renown rewards for forging your legacy across Azeroth. I hate when they use for forging your legacy across Azeroth. I hate bullshit like that. Anyway, 20 plus factions with renown rewards. That was a pretty important part of WoW back in the day, was like faction grinding. You could move around your standings with various factions to acquire unique stuff. Like, I distinctly remember going to, was it Bloody Bay? Oh man, now I can't remember what it was called. Booty Bay. That's what it was. It was Booty Bay. There's a city called Booty Bay, which is like a pirate city in one of the areas in WoW, right? And that name is crazy. Yes, it is a crazy name. Correct. It's a pirate city. I don't know. Whatever.
No, I figured.
Yes,
that's a lot.
It is a lot, but don't worry about it. And back in the day, I don't know if this is still the case in the game. I wouldn't be surprised if they took this out, to be honest, but who knows? You could get, I think it was a mount. I think you could get a specific mount by being hated by the Booty Bay pirates and being like friends with another faction. And the easiest way to be hated was you would go into the city and just kill everyone there. Like, just kill all of the guards. So I distinctly remember going to Booty Bay and being like, time to commit genocide, and just slaughtering them.
Oh my God.
Because I wanted I forget what the reward was, but I wanted the reward. I'm pretty sure it was a mount. And so like that was a thing back in the day for WoW. So the fact that they're bringing in like faction and renown rewards into D&D, I'm like, oh, okay, so that's pretty cool. We're actually like trying. That sounds like it could be a fun little, I say it's a semi-new mechanic because like we do have the faction stuff in the DMG or the player's handbook, I forget, that's like about the Harpers and the Drew Emerald Grove and all that. Not that. What are they called? The Emerald Grove is what they're called in WoW. What are they in? What's the right? Or am I? WoW and D&D fucking always. What are they called?
I don't remember.
The Druids. The Druids.
The Emerald Enclave.
Emerald Enclave. That's what they're called. The Emerald Grove.
That one. Had to pull that one from the fucking recesses.
Yes, you did pull that one. That was good. That was a good pull. Yes. So like we did have the faction stuff like Harpers and Emerald Enclave and the Zatarum, right? And that all exists in 5e, but it sounds like they're probably kind of zhuzhing the mechanic up. So it's like a semi-new mechanic. But point being, that's a lot of content, right? Like, so this is not like a little tiny book. It sounds like this book is almost completely standalone, right? Like you could have this book and run with player's handbook and the WoW book and be done, right? So that's pretty good. As far as crossovers go, as far as collabs go, I'm like, all right, I like that. I like what you're doing there. You're giving me some fucking meat on the bones. You're not just saying like, oh, it's 10 stat blocks from World of Warcraft where you could fight Arthas and Illidan, and then you could fight, not Durat. Wow, I'm losing cred quick on this.
Gul'dan.
No, not Gould. I mean Gul'dan, but not who I was thinking. What is his name? What is the guy who killed Karen? Why can't Thrall's bitchy son? Why can't I?
Oh, brother, I don't know. This is too deep in the WoW.
No,
lore
it's
for me.
it's not though. That's the problem. He's like a really famous character. What is? Oh my god. No, there's not Thrall's son. God damn it. Oh my god. The Warlords of Draenei guy. What? Warlords of Draenor. I'm cooked.
Your cred evaporating.
What? Why can't I? This is really bothering me. What is it? What? No. Oh, Garrosh's son. Oh no, Garrosh is who I'm thinking of. Garrosh Hellscream. God damn. Fucking Christ. Grom Hellscream's son. Garrosh.
Oh my god.
Garrosh is the one.
Funny.
Garrosh.
I just watching the brain cells die.
Die in real time. Garrosh was the one who blew up, who literally nuked a city to death because he was just fucking chief war crimes, captain of the war crime committee.
Right.
And everyone fucking hated him because he was a horrible, awful piece of shit. Anyway. Very contentious character. You know, like, yeah, it's not just a bunch of stat blocks to fight Arthas and Garrosh and shit. That's what I was trying to get at. Oh my god, I like how I called him Thrall's son. Not even close. Well, I guess he's Thrall's nephew, actually. So, anyway. So it's a meaty book is the point I'm getting at. I don't know. You have any comment you want to add on after my breakdown?
No, none. I'm chilling.
I meant on the book. I meant on the content of the book.
Oh, I mean, when you were talking about specializations, just given what I saw from the Kindred release, they just mean subclasses.
Well, but it says subclasses and specializations.
Oh. Yeah, that I have maybe backgrounds is what they mean?
Right, that's what I don't know what they mean because it says featuring 9 new and reimagined subclasses and 40 specializations. Because like, so in WoW, I don't even know how it works, but back in the day in WoW you had your talent tree, but you had 3 talent trees that had specializations to them. So like for Warlock, you could be a Demonologist, Destruction, or Affliction Warlock. And they were sort of like a subclass. So I know what that refers to in WoW. In this context, I'm not sure what they mean by that. So I guess we'll see. I'm intrigued. But basically, the point I'm getting at, I saw this big list of content and I was like, oh, that makes me kind of want to buy the book. You know, like I'm getting my money's worth, as it were.
Yeah.
Right? You know, like I think that's worth noting. My second point on this. So, like I said, WoW and 5e actually fit really well together thematically. They both have the really big, over-the-top fantasy hero vibe where you're going on adventures to save the universe and whatnot. So, like, it is a very solid, like, hand meets glove in this situation. Because, essentially, World of Warcraft was, you know, Warcraft as the setting took a lot from D&D, and now we're just kind of looping it back around, you know? Like the classes in WoW, you can almost one-to-one them into D&D. Like hunters are rangers, warriors are fighters, priests are clerics, paladins are paladins, like druids are druids. Like they almost one-to-one a lot of the classes. Like I'm trying to think.
They do, yeah, and that you know that was definitely the point.
No, yeah, that was the point back when World of Warcraft came out. Of course, yeah, because World of Warcraft is homaging a lot of shit from D&D. I'm trying to think if there's any World of Warcraft. I mean, I guess Shaman would be a tough fit in D&D. I don't know exactly how you do that. Now we have Demon Hunter. No fucking clue what Demon Hunter is going to look like. And Death Knight. Death Knight will be interesting. I guess Death Knight could sort of be a paladin subclass, though, probably.
Yeah, I can see that.
Not really in the WoW context, but in D&D it could kind of maybe work. Yeah, warlocks are not really WoW warlocks are not really D&D warlocks, but you could kind of fit it, sorta. Trying to think of all the classes. Actually, I'm actually gonna hold on. World of Warcraft classes, because I don't actually know where are we at right now. Warrior, hunter, priest. Oh, mage. I mean, mage is a sorcerer, basically. Sorcerer, wizard, doesn't really matter. Monk is monk. Demon hunter, like I said, don't know what they're gonna do. Evoker is very WoW specific. No fucking clue what that's gonna look like. Paladin is paladin. Rogue is rogue. Don't know about shaman. Warlock, up in the air. Druid is druid. So like a lot of them fit pretty easily. Actually, it is kind of funny. WoW has mage, and in a lot of ways, mage is wizard, but they are also kind of sorcerer.
That's
they kind of they dabble a little bit of both. I would say they're probably more wizards than they are sorcerers, mages in WoW, but there's elements of both in there for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So it fits quite well, and like a lot of the classes, or a lot of the species, orcs, elves, gnomes, fucking, humans, Worgen are just dog people. We basically have that. There's panda people. We can pretty much do that in D&D, like not that hard. Like the species are going to require very little work. The only couple questionable ones might be the Draenei are fucking aliens. I don't know. That might be a little weird. The Tauren are just bold people. That's easy. The Drakthir are dragon people. We already have that. Like, there's a lot of things that require very little effort to just be like, boop, boop. Oh, it's good now.
Right, yeah.
And tonally, WoW is very similar to 5e. Like, just the style of adventures you go on in World of Warcraft are very 5e-esque in their nature. So, they, like, it's the point I'm getting at is it's a collab that I think makes a lot of sense. And if I had to choose collaborations, this would probably be on my list. Like, ignoring my particular fondness for World of Warcraft as a setting, like, I think even if I didn't really know anything about WoW, like, if I only knew tangential things about WoW, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But my third point, and this is where I'm like maybe a little bit negative, it is still 5e.
It is still 5e.
It's still 5e. I want to be interested. I want it to be good, but it is still 5e. And pretty much every time 5e has talked a big game like this, I have been personally disappointed in the mechanical design.
Thoroughly let me down. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, 5e's talked a big game for a couple of things, and I've been disappointed a lot. I mean, everybody memes on Spelljammer, but like, that was pretty rough.
Really do be the biggest one, yeah.
It's the biggest one in recent memory, at least. And, I want to be excited, but yeah, it's like, it's still 5e, so I'm going to play it, and I'm going to be like, oh, I'm playing, I can play a Worgen Warlock like I did in WoW, but am I gonna care? Is it gonna be fun? Because I still have to deal with 5e's mechanicals design, which I don't hate, but I don't like super love.
You don't love, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, man, that immediately kind of sours things. And I think that's going to be kind of like you were saying before. I think for me personally, that's going to be the biggest hurdle for any D&D collab right now. Like any 5e collab, I'm going to have to look at and go, yeah, it's still 5e though. Right?
And yeah, and to the point that I was going to bring up, I was like, maybe the 5e design philosophy will shift closer to like GURPS, like unironically, where they're like, oh, well, you can use GURPS for everything. Like, maybe,
could be,
especially because they added all those rules for like, fucking anti-material rifles and shit like that in the game. Like,
could be.
It seems like they are trying to really push for a setting agnostic game, but like, that's just going to make the design worse.
Well, it doesn't have to make the design worse, but the problem that we're going to run into is if they are doing that, like if that's the plan, then the problem becomes you're shifting an existing game slowly into a setting agnostic system as opposed to making it that way from the start. And I think that shifting is going to cause a lot of issues as opposed to doing it from the start with no preconceived issues. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like, I think they could do it if they were starting fresh, but they're not going to start fresh, obviously, because 5e is still making money. So they're going to use 5e. That's going to be kind of a tall order. Like, how do you translate if you do want to make 5e more setting agnostic? How are you going to translate that? How's that going to work? And I guess some people might argue that the mechanics of 5e are already setting agnostic enough that they don't really have to do a lot of work, which is kind of true. So maybe they don't need to do that much, and maybe it just kind of slots on. I
got a question for you. Think back to the way back when we first started this podcast. You were generally of the opinion that system agnostic games don't work because they kind of can't work, because they'll be trying to do too many things to be successful. Do you still hold that opinion?
Yeah. So I'm of the opinion of is that a setting agnostic a setting agnostic system from a mechanical standpoint is not going to get you as satisfying of mechanically the design is not going to be as satisfying as if you designed for a specific setting and a specific tone, because they kind of, like you said, they kind of can't, right? By being generic, you have to make things a little more, you have to make things more watered down to fit a generic setting, a generic system. But if the idea is we make a generic system and then we collab and we slapped our collabs onto our generic system to make something different, to make something new, I think that can work, because that's effectively what Modifius Games does, right? Modifius has the D20, the 2D20 system as like a generic system, and then they get the license for a IP, and they use their generic system and then slide it into the IP and then make a new thing out of it. That is different, and I think that could work. So like, if that's what 5e wants to do, they could. But again, the problem is we're trying to shift D&D into that as opposed from starting there, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't know if that would work. Again, this is all speculation that if they're even doing that in general. But yes, I think a wholly generic system is going to be less satisfying. And when if I did say it doesn't work, I was perhaps being a little bit hyperbolic. It's more just like, it's not going to be as good. It's not going to be as satisfying. It can function. It can work as a game, right? Like, it can work, but you can't expect miracles out of a generic system. You know what I mean?
Yes.
The same level of satisfaction is not going to be there. And I think most generic systems kind of acknowledge that, because usually what they do is design the generic system and then bring out a bunch of supplements that are like setting specific things. So like, they do understand that. The problem is, I find a lot of the time the supplements don't necessarily get specific enough. Like, they use the generic mechanics and call it a day, and they don't add on top enough. You know, and that's kind of, from a distance, that's kind of what GURPS has looked like to me. Now, I could be wrong because I haven't played GURPS. I haven't read GURPS. I'm third-hand information when it comes to GURPS, but that's what it sounds like and seems like a lot of the time.
You think maybe we should read GURPS?
Maybe. I don't even know where GURPS is at these days. I don't even know what's going on with GURPS.
I don't either. I saw pretty recently people are still like, oh, I want to do this thing, but I don't want to do it in 5e. The amount of people who are like, just do it in GURPS.
Yeah, true. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's what 5e is trying to do here or what. You know, it's hard to say. Mm-hmm. But it's still being 5e, that baggage is eternal. You know, much like I said with when you're collabing with something, you have to consider the baggage from the thing that you are collabing with. You also have to consider the baggage of your product in relation to it, right? So in this case, the baggage of 5e's mechanical design in relation to World of Warcraft's mechanical design, and how does that work or fit? Like, and when I say baggage, I don't even necessarily mean negative. I just mean like stuff you have to consider.
Yeah.
So for me, the idea, here's the thing too. I look at the 5e mechanics as negative baggage, but a lot of people look at the 5e mechanics as like positive baggage. And so if you're one of those people who looks at it as a positive and you like World of Warcraft, then this is like match made in heaven type shit, you know? So it kind of depends. The comment of it's still 5e, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing is really about your opinion of 5e as a game, as a designed game. You know what I mean? As a game itself. Yeah. So, yeah. I say it's still 5e, so I'm tempering my expectations of its quality. Other people say it's still 5e, so I'm even more excited. You know? So, you know, there's a couple of different ways that could go.
It's true.
But like, you know, from like your side, like if they do a Warhammer collab, which is very on the table. Like
it is. I've been thinking about it this whole time we've been talking.
Right. Like what is going to be your response in that situation?
I don't know.
Right?
Because the way that things like Magic work, and I bring up Magic because that's what's gonna matter, right? Like being a shit farmer, fucking irrelevant to D&D.
Right.
But like, how do you bring in the warp? How do you make Magic so dangerous the way that it is in Warhammer? How do you bring that lethal feel to 5e when 5e just doesn't do that?
Right. So here's let me give you a hypothetical. So they do the Warhammer collab, which honestly, if I was a betting man, I'd be like, I don't know, 70% chance this happens at some point.
Yeah, probably.
Let's say the book is as meaty as this WoW book is seeming like it's going to be. Are you more interested there? Or no, because you still need to see the nitty-gritty stuff?
I need to see the nitty-gritty, yeah.
Okay.
If the book is chunky as fuck, then like, yeah, there's probably a chance that there's more of a chance that I'll be like, oh, maybe there's something to this. Maybe this isn't just
it depends.
Bullshit,
depends on what the page count goes to.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right. Like if there's a ton of unique mechanics that redesign the magic system, awesome, worth it. If a bunch of the pages are just dedicated to different kinds of bolters, right? Yeah. Okay.
Oh, see, interesting. I was thinking of like Warhammer Fantasy too.
Oh, I was thinking 40K. I don't think they're going to do fantasy. I think they'll do 40K.
I don't know. They might do AOS. AOS is doing pretty good nowadays.
They could do, for those who are listening who aren't a giant nerd, Age of Sigmar is what AOS means. They could do Age of Sigmar, but I feel like 40K is so much more popular. They would go to that one first, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. AOS is just probably the easier transition. Like,
I think you're right that AOS might be an easier transition, but I think from their mind, it's more worth it if they go with 40K. You know, like the dev time and shit is more worth it. But you're right. Like, what does the page count go to, right? Because World of Warcraft, mechanically, you don't need to do that many weird things to like slot the mechanics of WoW into 5e. I mean, there's certain things that are a little weird, like WoW doesn't have spell slots, obviously, because spell slots is a weird fucking D&D only thing, pretty much. You know, WoW has mana bars. Do I think they're going to do mana bars? No, they'll probably just keep it to spell slots, because spell slots are a close enough approximation to the idea of a mana bar.
I'm gonna be real. They should just say fuck it and make the spell points for the World of Warcraft thing. Yeah, just make that. Just make that cool. The way you do it.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Give us a reason. Any reason to use fucking spell points.
Well, you know, not it's worth pointing out though also, I just thought about this. Not every class in WoW uses mana. So they might have to do something about that if they're doing all of the classes like fighters or god damn it, warriors. Warriors in WoW don't use mana. They have rage, and they start at 0, or they have, I think it's called fury actually, but they start at 0, and as you hit things, your fury increases. So you actually have to build your resource up as opposed to it going down. So like that would require, if you want to mimic that, you need some kind of unique mechanic for 5e, right? Mm-hmm. So that kind of stuff, like that nitty gritty, I will be interested to see. But on a broad scale, a lot of the WoW mechanics will slap onto 5e pretty simply. Whereas you're right that 40k or Age of Sigmar, Warhammer is going to require more noodling. And so, yes, the question becomes, if the page count is really girthy, but the page count is not dedicated to mechanics of making that kind of thing. Like, let's just say the magic, right? Magic needs to be more dangerous because it's just more dangerous in Warhammer. It's like, yeah, if I have 50 pages of bolters and 1 page on how to make magic slightly more dangerous, like every time you cast a spell, you have to make a con save, and that's it. Yeah, no, that's dog shit, right?
Yeah.
But if we get a good girthy book and it's like, here's the Warhammer magic system, here's how it works, completely different from the usual 5e stuff, then cool, sick, worth it. So yes, I agree that like it's like I need to see what you're dedicating that page count to. And that is kind of what I mean. That's kind of what I mean when I say that like it's still 5e, right? Because I have had multiple scenarios with 5e where they've
been burned too many times.
Well, yeah, I've been burned where they've hyped up a mechanic or whatever, but then it was just like a half a page and nothing, right? Like a great example, I remember when the Vecna Eve of Ruin adventure was coming out, and they were like, oh, there's going to be this cool secrets mechanic. And literally in the adventure, you get quote unquote a secret, and it's like an ammo counter.
Yeah, and it just gives you advantage.
You can just spend a secret for advantage. That's all it does. That's like not a unique mechanic. That's boring, right? So there have been times where they've hyped things up and then it's been like, oh, you did fucking nothing with this. So yeah, that's where the it's still 5e problem comes in. And that's why I'm looking at this World of Warcraft thing and I'm like, okay, cool. So you're giving us all 13 classes. But if you just like slap the names over top of the existing 5e classes and call it a day or whatever, that's fucking lame, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like if I'm playing a warrior in this collab book and I don't have a fury bar of some kind, like a fury mechanic that I build up, then like, what are we doing? You know?
Yep.
Like we need something. So, my last point, I kind of already said this, but I guess I'll reiterate because I wrote it. I wrote it as a bullet point. My fourth point here is like, I personally am a fan of the WoW setting, right? I used to play WoW quite a lot back in the day, and I was a pretty invested like lore guy. So like, I want this to go well. And if it doesn't go well,
my day is ruined.
Well, yeah, if it doesn't go well, I will not just be disappointed, I'll be like extra disappointed. I'll be doubly disappointed, right? Because I like this idea, it sounds cool, and if you do it poorly, I'm gonna be so mad. You know?
I know we differ on this philosophy. I think you really got to take this with a expect nothing. Just like
I'm right
just,
now.
Just walk in with no expectations, and that way, if it does suck, you're like, yeah, all right.
Well,
but if it's good, you're like, all right, cool.
Right now, my expectation is that it will probably be aight. That's really all I'm at. I'm at like it'll be aight, you know, because yeah, we've been here too many times. So like, I definitely don't have high expectations. I will say, seeing the content that they're putting into the book got me a little more interested, but I'm still tempering with it'll probably be
Yeah.
It'll be playable. But it's like, yeah,
In the strictest definitions of the word, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I love the idea of playing a tabletop something in the WoW setting. Because like I know a lot about the WoW setting. I like a lot of elements of the WoW setting. I think that could be really cool. So I want it to go well. So like, yeah, if I will be extra disappointed. So then the question becomes like, with all of these mixed feelings that I'm having, and it sounds like you're relatively in the same boat.
Oh yeah.
Is the juice even worth the squeeze on this shit? And when I say that, I want to be very clear. I mean, on a customer player level, I know the company thinks it's worth it because money, but like on a customer / player level, is the juice worth the squeeze? Like, is it worth getting invested in these collabs at all? Is it worth giving a shit? Or should you just kind of ignore it, and then if they come out and work out really well, be like, oh, that was a nice surprise,
Mm-hmm.
You get what I mean?
No, I do 100%. And I think that's how I'm taking it, to protect myself. I'm like, this is going to come out.
So the juice is not worth the squeeze in your opinion?
No, it's not. I don't think it is.
Okay.
Because I just don't like, if I'm trying to put all my negativity aside, yeah. I just don't see a universe where I would go, you know what? Star Wars in 5th edition sounds like just a better time than a game that I already know, already have played, and already know what to expect. You know?
The funny thing is you would know what to expect in, like, comparing Fantasy Flight to 5e Star Wars, you would know what to expect in both of those scenarios, but like one you have more positive expectations for.
Yeah, exactly, because I know what
you played Fantasy Flight.
Was tailor-made to do the thing.
Yeah.
Shocker, really good at doing that thing.
Yeah.
So, like, it's literally, we've seen this happen 100 times. People are like, oh, well, look at this thing in D&D. And I go, yeah, but I'm having a better time doing this thing over here.
I mean, honestly, right now we're kind of
having... Can you imagine Kane in 5th edition? Not that you've played Kane, but like, regardless.
I mean, I can. It would just be pretty like dull, I think, because the combat, like the Sin fights, would not feel like anything.
No, it would just be utterly sauceless.
It would just be fight big monster, big bag of hit points type shit, which is one of the main criticisms 5e always gets.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, not really. One of the funniest things is low key, like us personally right now are having a better time doing the D&D thing with not D&D, right? Like Fabula,
yes,
Fabula is giving us a lot of the desired D&D vibes with not D&D, but doing it in a much more mechanically interesting way.
Mm-hmm.
And like, don't get me wrong, after we've played almost 50 sessions of Fabula, I have gripes, but like, it's still more fun to run. You know?
Yeah, just like a fuck of a better time than you would be doing with 5e.
For the most part. I mean, I didn't hate running 5e, but I had the problem. My thing with 5e is I always bump into a new frustration where I'm like, oh, yeah, I want to do this thing. Oh, the game's going to get in the way of me doing this thing. And I would constantly have that problem in 5e where I'd find new frustrations I wasn't ready for. And, you know, sometimes they'd be worse than others. Sometimes you can sometimes you can deal with them. Sometimes you can't, right? It depends. But they would pop up a lot. Whereas like with Fabula, most of the time I'd be like, I want to do this thing. And I'd be like, oh, I think I could probably do it through this and that. You know, and I've had a couple of scenarios.
You know what you have? You have the American dad. Oh, I can't wait. Oh, it's Roger. It's going to be fucking Roger, isn't it? Like,
yeah, like, yeah.
It's like, oh, I want to do this thing. Oh, it's going to be D&D. I'm going to have a D&D time.
It's going to be 5e. I'm going to have to do some 5e nonsense. Yeah. And, you know, don't get me wrong. I've had some of those moments in Fabula, but less of them. And usually those moments from me really trying to push it to the edge, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, yeah, basically, yes, I can't see 5e doing it better than the other tailor-made thing. Like, I get that, yeah. yeah, so you're of the opinion the juice is really not worth the squeeze. I think I'm sort of kind of in that boat of, yeah, don't get too invested, don't get too hyped up, don't look too heavy into it. Just wait for it to come out, see what the overall consensus is, and then go from there. And try not to get too overly hyped and excited, right? Temper those expectations. I think one thing I do want to mention, I meant to mention this a little earlier. So I was listening to the Eldritch Lorecast, podcast, a tabletop podcast I listen to a lot. And they had Justice Armin on. And he is Armand. What is his exact position? He's pretty high up now. He's the game design director. He's like the new Jeremy, right? He's the new Crawford, basically. And just as good, done solid work over the years. And he was talking about the World of Warcraft collab book, and some things that he said that I was like, okay, well, that makes me feel a little bit better is one, that the reason that this collaboration happened, this was actually arguably the most positive thing to hear. The reason that this collaboration happened is because there's a bunch of fucking WoW nerds on the D&D team who really wanted to make a WoW book.
Okay, that's cool.
So that's like, okay, that gets me more interested for sure, that it got created specifically because the team wanted to do it. And then the other thing he said somewhat offhandedly, although he couldn't get into specifics because, there's not that much information out. He said they're doing, in his words, quote unquote, they're doing a lot of, there's doing some design trailblazing in this book, is what he said. Now, what that means obviously is really up in the air, but it does imply, we're really reworking, we're taking a look at the design, we're taking a serious look at it and like figuring some new fun stuff out, right? Like that's kind of what that implies. So those two comments kind of got me like, all right, a little more interested. Let's see what's going on. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to know this wasn't 100% a corporate decision, because
no,
as many of you at this point probably know, I'm so comically anti-corpo that I'm like full on crash out king if I start seeing it. Like,
yes, it doesn't seem like it was just the money guys came on from on high and said we have to make a WoW book right now. It doesn't seem like that was the case. Unless, of course, Justin Armand is spinning a yarn like nobody's fucking business, but I don't think he is. I don't really think he's that kind of.
He might be like the new CEO of fucking Xbox, where you really can't tell if she's like an AI shill or not.
Yeah,
every good thing she does comes with like a fist wrapped around it.
Yeah. I don't think he's that kind of a like. Nothing he's done or said so up to this point has indicated anything like that. So I don't think that's the case, but it's always possible, right? It's always on the table. And then, the one little other thing. So like I said, we're going to have Star Wars at some point in 2027. But we don't know anything about the Star Wars collaboration. But I have a pretty similar relationship with Star Wars as I do to WoW. So when I saw the Star Wars collab thing, basically the exact same string of questions popped into my head. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like pretty much the exact same feelings. And yeah, I don't know. And Star Wars, I think, fits less like a glove than WoW does. But I do think it's worth pointing out, and this could be a good thing or a bad thing, I suppose.
I was gonna say, look, not to quote a specific lolcow, but like, Force is not a hard magic system like Vancian D&D magic is. So
true. I think it is worth.
Or I guess to refute a specific lolcow, the Force is not a hard magic system.
Yes,
you clown.
I do want to point out though is that D&D has had a Star Wars book before.
Has it?
Yeah, in I think the 3rd edition days, there was official Wizards of the Coast Star Wars game. I don't remember the name of it, and I'd have to do some digging, but like they have done this before. This is not the first time. So that makes you kind of go like, all right, so maybe they learned something, or maybe they have something useful from that information back in the day. You know, that shit might be worth it. Hard to say. But we don't know anything right now, so it's all very up in the air. And like I said, I'm looking at the WoW book and I'm looking at the Star Wars situation. I'm like, these are very similar to me. So I don't know. We'll see what's going on. Because it's not till 2027, and we're probably not going to get any information for quite a while on that one. But you know, I don't know. Do you have any? Do you have any like? Does any immediate thoughts pop into your head when you hear the Star Wars collab?
I just don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know how they're going to make lightsabers and blasters feel as epic as they're supposed to feel, especially when you've got like the fucking Holy Avenger, but also like the thing that Fantasy Flight did really well with the Star Wars, right, is if you're just a goon, you just die, right? There's no...
Right, yeah.
It just kills you. So how are you going to do that in a way that feels cool? Like, are you going to add a whole dismembering mechanic like Fantasy Flight had? Are you going to do like the crazy crit stuff like Fantasy Flight had to make a lightsaber feel good? How are they going to do the like deflecting like blaster bolts, or are they just going to make it only arrows or like blaster? What, like there are so many questions about the combat.
Yeah, the combat in particular. Yeah, big question.
Piloting also a big thing. So are they just going to add a whole section of rules for fucking starfighters? Yeah.
Yeah, ship combat immediately.
Rocking up in your fucking X-wing.
The thing about ship combat too is like the track record for 5e on that one has been bad.
Yeah. So,
yes, that immediately becomes a oh boy, okay.
Yeah, it like if I want to play a pilot sim, I'm not going to play Battlefleet Gothic. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
Actually, fun fact, 40K does have a pilot sim where you play as orcs.
Nice.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Sounds about right. So, yeah, I mean, closing thoughts. What's the vibe on this collab situation? Because this is only beginning. We're definitely going to get more.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm really trying not to be a fucking negative Nancy here. I just don't see a universe where I'd want to pick this over anything else. I've been like, once you're deprogrammed from 5e,
yeah, once
you don't really go back.
Yeah. Right. Once you're out from under 5e's thumb, you don't have a lot of desire to come back. Well, that's the other thing too. I looked at the WoW book and I was kind of like, oh, maybe this will give me a reason to want to go back to 5e, because like I don't want to be the guy who hates D&D. You know what I mean? Like, it's D&D. Like, it's the thing that started the hobby. I don't want to hate it. It's just it's given me so little to work with. You know?
It's given you so little to work with, and like once you realize the box seems really big until you look outside the box and you're like, oh wow.
Yeah.
You know?
There's so much beyond it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the thing, is it's like I want to have a reason to give a shit about 5e. I don't want to be the eternal hater. So I look at this and I'm like, okay, well, maybe the WoW thing will be good enough to like make me care. You know? Mm-hmm. Maybe. But maybe not.
You know what? D&D, perfect example. D&D is like a studio apartment. It's big technically because there's no rooms. There's nothing interesting going on inside of it.
Yeah.
So once you're like, oh, but like it's a big apartment. Like, I like it. It's spacey in here. I can kind of orient the room however I want. And then you go to like a really nice apartment that's smaller, maybe by like 100 square feet, but like it's got a really nice bathroom. Like, the bedroom has got like a balcony. It looks really cool. Like,
Yeah.
It's yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Well, yeah, it's very mixed bag of feelings, so we will fucking see.
Mm-hmm.
I hope the hope is that we're hilariously pleasantly surprised and the World of Warcraft book is fucking sick.
It could be. Look, it could be sick, but I'm just having peeked at the inside of the Vampire the Masquerade book, I'm not in love.
That was
like the Beast. In VTM, the Beast is like a state that you're combating, right? It's like what happens when you succumb to fucking not like drinking too much or too little blood,
right?
And as far from what I remember, the Beast is just like a thing. Like it's not like it's not a. I think what was it? It was like you just have to attack the closest person to you. Like that's it. And you go into the Beast when you run out of blood points, and then you drain someone, and it's just like.
I will say, the Vampire the Masquerade though was a smaller project. So
True.
That is worth noting. It might not matter. It might be the same situation, but it was a smaller project. So fucking we'll see.
Yes, we will. Yeah.
That's kind of we'll see. Hopefully it ends up better than we thought. That's kind of all I can say at the moment. And I think also, here's the thing. Here's a real final thought. If the WoW book comes out and is like whatever as fuck, that's gonna set the tone for all collabs going forward. And if it's bad, I'm just gonna be like, well, this ain't worth it.
We tried.
Yeah. Basically, I'm giving them like one chance on this shit, pretty much.
Yeah, look, if it is bad, we're gonna look every one of our viewers who's like, y'all just hate on 5e directly in the face and go, this is it. This is why.
I mean, something like that. All right. It has been us. Good morrow. Give us a follow on your podcast platform of choice if you have not already. And go play Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, pretty much all that.